Howdy. This is a Grendel video. Not really, like Grendel build video? I mean, kinda, sorta, but not really. First, we have to thank the Big Poppy, Matt Ketchum, for giving me Grendel Prime Absolute Battle Buddy. Thank you, thank you. I have been working on making him snazzy. Now, originally, the plan was to play with him, make some builds, test him, use him, take him to level cap, figure out which build is the best, and then maybe do a max investment video. But I'm not really sure about that now, because Grendel's got some issues that I kind of want to wait till maybe they get fixed, or maybe I find some better stuff to do. I don't know. So let's go into Grendel. First, here is the fashion for anyone potentially interested in that. Now, I do have 5 green Tau Forged Archon shards. All 5 of them are for Toxin status DOT damage. Let us go over Grendel's abilities real quick and what they do. Wait a second. Here we go. Let's go ahead and take all of this stuff off first, except for this. Now, Grendel's passive works in tandem with his first ability. He eats enemies, and his passive makes it so every enemy that is in his stomach gives 250 armor, which is very nice. Now, his first ability is Feast. You eat enemies. It takes 25 energy, it's got 25 meters of range. You cast it to eat enemies. So you cast it, look over them, and they get eaten. It deals 2% of the enemy's max HP as like true damage. It bypasses armor while they're in your stomach. Now, holding the ability will spit them all out like a little shotgun kind of thing. Now, this on its own doesn't look like it's that bad of an, or not that bad to deal with, right? His whole playstyle revolves around enemies sitting in your stomach. And we'll get to why it's a problem in a minute. Now, the damage when you spit them out actually scales off of enemy level. It's not a huge amount. I can't remember what the scaler was. I want to say like a 0.25 per enemy level, but that's probably wrong. I remember it wasn't like very high scaling. You're not really going to want to spit them out. Or at least not with your first ability, because your fourth ability does that better, and we'll get to that in a minute. His second ability is Nourish, which most people know how that works, but it's the unnerfed version, so it has the pre-nerf to the helmet version stats on it. It has a 2x energy multiplier, 75% viral damage added to your weapons and nearby allies as well. And when you do use it, it also heals you by 1000 HP, which the helmet version does not do. Lasts 25 seconds, yada yada yada, you know most of it. But also, Nourish, normally while it's active, any ally or anything that has Nourish on them, when you take damage, it does a big pulse, right? It's a 12 meter radius pulse around you that staggers enemies and applies 1 viral proc on the helmet version. The normal version on Grendel applies 10 viral procs. This has a 2-second cooldown before the explosion can happen again. That's just so it doesn't like spam constantly and then have insane crowd control, but it's still pretty strong. Just pulsating out max viral procs is kind of insane. That's mostly it, other than you have to have them in your stomach. And it does consume a percentage of the enemy's HP, also as true damage when you devour them. His third ability is Pulverize. It turns you into a rolling meatball, a bowling ball. Warframe just becomes pinball, but with a frame. It's really funny. It does some damage. This is 500 to 2025 toxin damage per second. You heal 200 HP per second, and every time you bounce like you land from being in the air, it will strip enemy armor in a radius. So you can't strip armor, and it ragdolls enemies around. So look at that, it's stripping their armor. I don't have very high range right now, but I can strip their armor. It doesn't really do a lot on its own. It's really, really fun, though. Like, stupidly fun to just bounce around constantly. I love this. It's so entertaining. Practical? No. Fun? Yes. And you can cast all of your other abilities while in it. I don't actually know yet if you can cast the Helmet ability while you're in it. I'm guessing not, but that's something I still need to test. So, you know, you can roll around, eat stuff, cast Nourish, and cast your 4th ability. Like so. Which is what I'm about to explain. Now, if you want to make full use of Grendel, or get full damage out of him or whatever, you're probably going to want to put a Helmet over that. But it's still really fun to use. It also grows in damage and the radius for the armor strip the more enemies that are in your stomach. So look, now I'm absolutely massive, and now it's got a much bigger radius for the armor strip. I think that's pretty much it for that. Now his 4th ability is similar to his 1st with how it spits enemies out. It takes 50 energy, it deals 2,000 toxin damage, has a 6-meter radius of an explosion, which should go through walls, obviously, has no fall off, and strips 75% of enemy armor, and it does skill up strength. So you can strip the enemy's armor. Now, when you spit them out, it also applies this effect to the enemy that spit out themselves as well. On top of that, it also does bonus damage based off of the enemy's HP when you spit them. So now they got no armor, and it has guaranteed toxin procs. Obviously, it doesn't do that much damage normally, but I have the Archon shards on right now. Now, here's where the problems start. Is it doesn't scale off enemy level, and it doesn't just scale off enemy HP, it scales off of enemy's current HP. So if I eat this guy, and I spit him out, 38,000 damage. Okay. Now let's say I eat this guy. And then I cast Nourish a couple times. And now I spit him out. 4,900. That is significantly less damage. So if you want max damage, you gotta spit them out when they're full in your stomach. But you can't choose which one you're gonna spit out. You spit them out in order from middle and then going clockwise from the top, which is a bit of an oof if you ask me, because enemies are going to start taking damage. Now, that might not be that big of an issue, because they only lose 2% HP per second while on your stomach. Well, no, because there's a bigger problem. Enemies are not status cleansed. So if they have a big DOT proc on them and you eat them, they're just going to die in your stomach. When enemies are damaged by your teammates, a lot of the time they won't even be full HP for you to eat them at full HP because your teammates will be damaging them. But most importantly, it's viral. Increases the damage your stomach deals. So instead of 2%, with even just one viral proc, it's doubled. So if I shoot all these guys and they have a bunch of viral procs on them, and I eat them, which, you know, with Nourish on Grendel, they're always going to be at, like, max vital procs. Look at how fast those guys are getting devoured. That's insane. They're just going to die so fast. But we need them to be high HP to get big damage out of his 4th ability. It becomes a really big problem. All they really need to do is make it so enemies are status cleansed when put into his stomach. And honestly, I would maybe even reduce the pace at which it drains their HP to like 1.5 instead of 2%. I think that would make a pretty big difference. But for now, it's really killer to trying to use him. And it's something you really notice when you get an mission, which is what we're going to do. Something other than that, though, is he's really good for tanking because he has extremely high base HP. I think the only one with higher base HP than him would be Naros, and I think that's it. I don't even think Nidus. Yeah, Nidus has way less HP. Only Naros has more HP than Grendel. So you can easily make him do big tanking on base steel path. He also has a high base armor of 400 on top of getting the extra 250 armor per enemy in his stomach, which that goes up to 1250 armor. Very tanky. And He has the lowest base shields of any Warframe in the game that has shields. So that means with catalyzing shields, it goes all the way down to 19. I know he's not max rank right now, but even at max rank, it's still 95 and down to 19. He doesn't gain any shields when he ranks up. So that makes it very, very easy to shield gate with him. So you can easily build him for tank, for normal steel path, and then if you decide to use him in level cap or endurance stuff, you can easily make him one of the best shield gating frames in the game. Now the build I've currently been using, with Helmet at least, is Roar over his 3, because again, with his 3 it's very entertaining, but it's not practical, and I'm trying to make a practical build for big PP damage. Because Roar gives bonus damage to all of your abilities and weapons, and it also double dips on DOTs, which we're getting Toxin procs from Regurgitate. That's also why we have 5 Tau Forged shards for Toxin DOT damage for the damage on his Regurgitate, which is multiplicative to the damage bonus from Roar and other stuff. We have Molt Augmented for strength, Aegis for even more survivability, Mecha Mod set, because I would be using this with the other Mecha Mods on the companion just to spread the Toxin DOT all over the place. Equilibrium for energy with Nourish, because we do have a negative efficiency, because Blind Rage for strength, which nukes our efficiency. Prime Flow for energy, Stretch for more range, Archon Continuity, so we get a corrosive proc. This doesn't really matter, honestly, at all, but I mean, why not? It doesn't really... It's not worse than Prime Continuity, and I don't need the space, so either one works, though. Overextended for more range, because we want a big nuke on our Regurgitate. Look at that. 14.1 meters. That's pretty good. And having Overextend with Blind Rage is just enough strength to get a full armor strip on his 4. 104% armor reduction. Mecha Pulse, right, you know, the other ones, the Mecha Mods. Prime Sure-Footed, so that we have not having to deal with knockdowns, and catalyzing shields for the shield gating. We do not have shield recharge mods on, or brief respite here, but that's fixed by running this with auger mods, right? Just have an auger mod on and you're chilling on your secondary. Very, very straightforward build, I'd say. Now, where is the actual loadout? So here's the loadout I'm running. Boob gun just to spread more viral, because actually I just remembered, why am I doing this? I meant to change this from viral to magnetic, so let's do that real quick. I would then remove Shivering Contagion, and I would then add in... Wait, what am I looking for again? Oh, electric, because I'm making viral. Yes. Mega brain farted there. Just a primer build, lots of saturation. This is the spread viral and magnetic. Even though viral is, you know, a problem with enemies in the stomach, we still need it for more damage. So we want viral. And the boob gun, Bubonico, is just great for that. Latum, because Latum is a pretty decent weapon, and we can comfortably fit both auger mods on, and the weapon's damage is so high that it doesn't matter too much. Secondary Fortifier, so we get big damage to Overguard, and we get Overguard for ourselves for more survivability. And even though this build looks like it's due to water, it still pulverizes enemies. It does an ungodly amount of damage. Latum, it shouldn't even exist. The normal Incarnon weapons are just built different. Cyber, just because it looks cool. That's literally it. I think it looks cool with him, and that's why. Zeneric, because even with Nourish and Equilibrium, we can have energy problems, so this helps. I have the Awobers here. Now, this is a Roxa Kubro. It's probably not the best Kubro. I don't have a Harass Kubro or whatever, the one that makes you invis does. So I just use this because it has Protect, which is kind of like Guardian. It restores your shield, so you get your shield gate back, plus it gives its shields to itself. So that's kind of nice. But it's mostly just, you know, here, so it's a Kubro, so you can run the other Mecha mods. Momentous Bomb, so if it dies, we can get it back fast. Synth deconstruct so we get more health orbs, contagious bond, so that it can, spread the mecha stuff more, and then all this stuff for survivability. Very straightforward. This isn't like meant to be a build that you should do. I mean, you can try it, but I'm just showing what I have going on right now, so you know what I have equipped. So, if you know anything I can do to Grendel, any useful information, that would be a massive PP. Let L Poppy know. If there's anything that would be like game changing in Grendel, I really want to do the max investment and make him snazzy, but with the problems with his stomach, it's just really, really annoying. And I feel it a lot when I'm in game and playing. It's rough. It's rough. Very, very rough. So we are going to solo a Netracell so that you can see what it is like. Solo Netracells. Over the anchor hold. After we grab the debuffs, it's going to cut, right? Because I'm going to actually try to trim it so you don't have to deal with me running to all of the computers and hacking. Lose HP on casting an ability, we can deal with that. That's not the end of the world. Lose health every second, that doesn't matter. Energy every second, that doesn't matter. And more HP drain. Alright, so it should trim to where I'll be in the circle, so I'll see you there.
We ain't done. Local threats are triggering a security override. Clear out the others to pop the door. use of that.